The NCAA's new requirements for agents has been famously coined the Rich Paul rule. It is full of less, and this is like in a mild term, uh, undertones of racism. It's basically a racist little method that the NCAA has used to disenfranchise people like Rich Paul who do not have degrees. So some of the requirements are, of course, you got to have liability insurance. You have to participate in NCAA's investigations. You have to have a degree, a bachelor's degree at that. You have to make sure that you are compliant with other little regulations. But some of the things that mainly stuck out was basically having the bachelor's degree. And it was kind of funny because you're looking at the NCAA, which is one of the most corrupt organizations ever, and they were essentially trying to make a statement to not just the NCAA but the NBA as well. They were letting everybody know, including agents, that we are gonna keep our slaves being the players, in line. As we all know, NCAA makes billions of dollars off of college athletes. They made this one requirement just for the basketball, because what they saw Rich Paul and other agents that operate like Rich Paul as poachers to their farm system, their slavery system for college players, where college players do not get paid for their likeness. Of course, a lot of them get full scholarships. Some of them get partial scholarships. Some of them are walk-ons. But to them in the NCAA, they're saying that that's enough. And it's okay for us to make billions of dollars and not pay our players. Rich Paul's coming in for the aspect of you don't have to stay in NCAA. You could go to the pros. You could play in another professional league, make some money in the meantime before you get to the NBA and make money. Well, the NCAA is striking back and letting Rich Paul and others know that we are not like the NBA. You will not be forcing through the Anthony Davis deals or nothing like that. We're not having it. It reminds me like the movie Life. You remember in Life where Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence were in prison and they were kept trying to figure out ways to get out. Well, one time Martin and Eddie Murphy, they faked a fight. Rand Claw faked the fight. And as we all know, the warden was a white man, and he had an under warden or under boss, which is a black, basically a slave as well, essentially. And when Rand Claw got into the fight, he pulled the gun on Rand Claw and said, "Y'all better stop all this New York City, because I ain't like boss. I'll shoot your ass." Basically, that's what the NCAA is saying to Rich Paul and NBA. Like, we're not like the NBA. We're not going to let Rich Paul come and meddle in our affairs. Now, they just took it to the point of, we're going to push this thing to the max, and it doesn't matter if it comes off racist or not. You're going to need a degree. You're going to need to take an exam. You're going to need all these things that almost remind you of Jim Crow South, where, back in the day, for minorities to vote, not only did they need to have a specific ID, they needed to take a reading test, and the reading test was so difficult that an average white person wouldn't even pass themselves. So they're peddling all these new requirements for agents, where agents are just representing players in order to make deals. Last time I checked, if you look at any other profession, we'll just look at other professions that are agent related. A real estate agent, there's no requirement that says he needs to have a bachelor's degree. A car insurance agent, there's no requirement that says that the car insurance agent needs to have a bachelor's degree. So that within itself is just NCAA's way of disenfranchising people that don't have bachelor's degrees to do business. Now, when you look at this and you think about it, there are high-ranking officials in the NCAA, I'm telling you right now, that have honorary degrees that work for the NCAA that don't even have a bachelor's degree. There are people that do business with the NCAA that do not have bachelor's degrees. So the fact that they are simply targeting basketball in this effect and not football, baseball, and stuff like that is very discriminatory. It's very shameful. It's very blatant and egregious, and it's downright disrespectful. LeBron James had a laugh about it, because if you really think about it, all Rich Paul has to do is send somebody who has a bachelor's degree that works for him. Now think about this. Rich Paul has people with degrees that works for him. He sends them to the NCAA, take all the exams and tests. on behalf of Clutch Sports, and it goes through anyway. So the NCAA's method is clearly, there's a racial undertone there. There's disenfranchisement there. It's very disrespectful all across the board. Now, the reason they're targeting basketball because we know they make a ton of money off of hoops. Zion Williamson, of course, he recently got out. He's gonna make $100 million off rip with Nike, so they don't want to lose out on that revenue. But just to do it this way is very shameful, very disrespectful, and this calls for a radical change. And this is just showing you the climate of sports in general. What I was been alluding to for a long time, where the owners of the NBA and the powers that be in the NCAA, they're trying to take power back, and they're doing it in ways that are gonna hit a nerve, strike a chord, and are racially divisive. Honestly speaking, Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.